Greetings and Merry Christmas. And I'm rather concerned right now. Can anyone out there hear me? Because I'm looking at my YouTube feed and there's nothing in the chat, but StreamYard has been filled with chat. So I don't know what the hell is going on right here. But if someone can let me know if they can hear me, that would be wonderful. So Jay says he can hear me. Okay, so I will quickly run through the chat. I have a few shameless plugs to put out there first, and then we'll get into the Christmas show. So first up, Skeletalk, which is Skeletor, says, festive greetings. And Jason also says, hi, hope all is good. Very good. Thank you, Jason. I'm still recovering from 33,000 steps yesterday up London. One very long day. That sounds like a marathon almost. Ray says, hello and Merry Christmas. Right back at you, Ray. Ben is saying, barnacles, spectacles, testing 1, 2, yes. I should probably have brought glasses down for this, but I'll do my best to read these with old eyes. Ben also saying, morning, afternoon, evening, all yes, very much evening. It's almost bedtime for me. And last of all, we have Tom. Good to see you, Tom. There's more coming here. Here's Monkey Boy saying hello. And we have Jason saying monkey. I'm having a hard time reading this. Theneos 456. This is where Christmas begins. Yes, it does indeed. And again, saying all good. Well, thank you, sir. I hear you. Thank you, Jay. I really should have glasses with me, but I don't. But that's just the way it goes. Ryan, good to see you. Sounds good. Thank you, Ryan. Jason, we can hear you. Thank you. Monkey Boy says audio is good. Well, thank you. And Ben says all sounds and looks good here. Well, thank you. Something for fun. Sounds good. Excellent. Good to hear that. Ryan is giving us the Christmas tree. And Retro Talk SI. Thank you, SI, for coming in. Good to see you. And Seth is saying, hello, everybody. Now, I'm going to get a quick few shameless promotions out of the way. Now, if you didn't already know, we are doing a giveaway on Patreon this week. And if you join the Patreon, you can win this here, Darth Vader figure from SH Figuarts, which has been made by Bandai Namco. This is a real step up over and above the Black Series figures. To be entered to win, simply join the All Things 80s Patreon, where not only will you get all the videos in advance, you get behind the scenes stuff, you get a weekly update, you get exclusive videos, also access to a chat forum. Membership starts at $1. What do you have to lose? And this figure could be yours. Next plug, and I've almost forgotten what it was. I don't even know right now. Good Lord, what the hell is wrong with you, man? I had a plug to put out right here, and I've completely forgotten because Christmas has gotten to me, and I am very much in the spirit. Yes, I know what it was. Yes, we have some exclusive funny videos. If anyone wishes to send in a super chat, I can give you guys some humorous videos. So we have a choice of 5. We have Hasbro for the win. Your collection's fake. Too poor for Star Wars. Repro has the power. Or Star Wars every day. Send in a super chat, pick one of those videos, and I will give you exactly what you chose. Now, I will also run that under the screen just to remind you all, but I think we've caught up with the chat. Let me just check on this just to make sure. Damien is here saying, Happy Christmas to you all. But we already have one guest. This is a guest who needs no introduction. He's been on here many times before. This is Monkey Boy's Toys. Greetings, sir.
Hello.
And you are dressed like Scrooge.
Yeah. I've got my dressing gown on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely, yes.
Cool. Yeah, my central heating broke down 2 weeks ago, so I currently have no heating or hot water. So I'm sitting here in my dressing gown, trying to keep warm.
So give us a rough estimate of the temperatures in the UK for your house right now.
In my house, outside my house, slightly wetter and
Wetter and burr.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think if I'm being factual to the time scale, we haven't spoken in person for probably a year.
I'm not sure entirely. I mean, obviously we chat.
We chat, but I mean,
but I think face to
eye
face,
to eye.
it's been a while.
Yeah, because I'm not really big on the whole live stream thing, but yeah, it's very good to see you again.
You too, man. Yeah, good
It's
stuff.
an absolute pleasure. Now, I did see someone else join, but they've since disappeared. But I have a number of topics to discuss going back to Christmas in the 80s. And if there's anything you wish to bring up, please do so right now, Dave.
No, I think if you've got a structure, let's go with that, and we'll see.
Yes.
See how it goes.
I'll just catch up with the chat real quick.
Sure.
So Damien says, cool hat, Monkey Boy. Yes, it is a very cool hat. Although I have to be honest with you, man, the dressing gown and the hat just gives me these sort of Ebenezer vibes. Is that what you were going for?
I'm not sure, really. I mean, it was it was either that or sort of lots of layers and hoodies and things. But I felt snug in my dressing gown, so I thought I'd wear that.
Right. Okay. And Jason says, Monkey Boy, that bad. Hope get it fixed soon. Yes, get it fixed soon. Now we have someone else to join us. This is retro toy guy Sai.
Hey,
Sai.
Hello, man. Oh, we can't hear you very well, Simon.
Oh.
No. Can't hear you. Oh,
there's a lot of banging, but not much. No.
Okay.
I think that means he's going to come back. Okay. Yes. Okay. Tom is here. Tom says, in Wales at the moment, the wind is really powerful. And, okay, right now we have joining us all the way from, I believe, Belgium. I hope I got that right. It's Seth.
Hello there.
Seth.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, man.
Good to see you,
Good
Seth.
to see you all. 1 second. I'm just
going to come back.
Good to see you.
Yes. Okay. Take your time to get adjusted. I'm just running through the chat right here. And
is here. Tom says, Wales at the moment.
And Damien says, there is this place here in Ireland called Burr. How appropriate for the weather. Yes. Ben is saying, Monkey Boy's Toys, it's starting to feel a bit like Christmas. Good to see all the familiar and new names in the chat. Absolutely, Ben. Sai, go in your settings and see what the mic is. That's some advice for the mic. And Bugger, sorting mic is broken, looking for a new one. So Sai's mic is somewhat broken right now.
Oh, no.
No. So before we get into these Christmas topics, has anyone here watched the latest Star Wars show?
No, I haven't. Is this the Skeleton Crew?
Yes.
No,
Seth?
I have not.
No, I haven't seen it. I think the last one I've seen was Obi-Wan. That series was already a while ago. I liked the franchise a bit.
Yeah. So I have access to Disney Plus courtesy of my sister-in-law, and I took it upon myself to watch both episodes on, I think it was Wednesday. Now, my opinion is, if I saw this show as a 10-year-old, it would have been the best show I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
As a 50-year-old, it was just terrible.
Oh,
And because it has absolutely been made for children. And you know what? That's what it should be. Because at this point in time, make something kids can enjoy. But it was so juvenile, so trivial. I just this is dumb. But I understand it was not made for me. But as I said, 10-year-old me would have loved it.
Right.
Yeah. I think maybe Star Wars is up to something new. Like why keep on expanding on the old franchise? If it's for a newer generation, why not use the resources to make these things, to invent something new, a new show? It's a bit this weird situation. Like for which public is this? Are these series made? Is it the old generation like us, nostalgia guys, or is it children? But in any way, we've expanded so much with the series. Maybe time for something else. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, in the last, decade, the only thing that got me excited for Star Wars was the ending of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And that was because it included a character that I was 10 years old when he became a Jedi, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you guys haven't seen this new show yet, I'm just going to give you a couple of snippets that will give away no spoilers whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm sure you're aware it's based on pirates, right?
Space pirates.
Oh,
Space pirates. Okay, that is the premise of the show. And there's one droid with a peg leg, and the droid accent is "Who are me arties?"
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I took from that show. I'm like, good Lord, they're trying too hard. And second of all, I now know why Star Wars shows always go over budget, because they insist on creating these CGI cute aliens, which there's no need for. And that's kind of where the show is going. Whether or not I'll continue watching, I don't know. But all I'm saying is, as a 50-year-old, I believe mature adult, this show was not made for me. So I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah, concerning special effects, I'm a bit old school on that field. I always tend to like the animatronics and the 80s way of making CG. I see the value of it, but often I find it too much used in a film. They're creating images which contain too much information. I rather have more simple compositions of the whole film. You know?
I think they are making scenes based on what CGI can do.
Yeah, it's how many CG can we push into something?
Yes, but if I can just interrupt, I think Sai is back now. Greetings, Sai.
Hello there. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. We have the technology, people. We have the technology.
It's not been your week, really, has it?
No, I've had a bit of a bastard of a week. Yes, yes. But hey ho, that's all behind us now, and we only go forwards into the Merry Christmas and all that kind of stuff, and joy.
Yes.
And to be fair, my problems are not as bad as your problems, Monkey Boy. You have the house with no heating. That would really suck.
Yeah, it's
But
not
then
it's not
actually-
ideal.
Actually, I should really find a piece of wood and touch it. Just to, there you go. I think my roof is made of wood. Nothing
So-
bad happens. Worse happens to my life.
Oh, Jason, yes. Thank you, man. I meant to send you a message. Yes, I got it yesterday. Thank you, dude. Jason sent me a
Also,
very
Jason.
nice card.
Oh, I also got a card from Jason. Thank you very much, Jason. Very kind.
Thanks, man. It's
Nice
very
one.
cool.
Thanks.
It's personalised card again from Funky Pigeon, I believe. Or very nice.
Tom says, "I've seen Skeleton Crew. It's quite good. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good show, but it was not made with old men in mind, I believe."
I was
go
just going to
ahead,
say,
sir.
I missed a whole load of the conversation whilst I was hunting for new headphones. So you were just talking about the new Star Wars, I guess?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think it's a fantastic show for younger kids, but for someone like me, I don't need to see a robot with a peg leg talking "Ooh, are me arties."
Has he got one eye as well?
Yes.
Oh, you're
got a rat
joking.
in one eye.
Yeah.
Oh, you're joking.
No.
Well, it's I watch all the Star Wars stuff with my kids. So and I am the same as you, Dean. It's not made for me.
No.
We are now too old for this stuff. We are not
Yeah.
the demographic that they're going for.
Right.
But even my kids don't care about it that much. That's the sad thing. But it's really weird. The Skeleton Crew is getting really, really good reviews. It's the best review show since The Mandalorian, which is really weird.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, but I guess I'm going to carry on watching it because I'm just a sucker. I guess it's like Doctor Who. Doctor Who is really, really bad at the moment and has been for a few years. But every time there's one comes up, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
In the hope that it gets better, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I have access for free, so I will probably try to watch it, but first 2 episodes did not impress me whatsoever. And Jason then says, so far this was better than the last series they did. I'm looking forward to the rest. Okay, it may go the same way as the other series. I don't know. Tom says, the droid was cheesy as hell, but I found it funnier than I should have. Yeah. I mean, honest to God, a droid with a peg leg and that pirate accent was just a bit too much for me. Ben says, is this the new Star Wars live action or CGI cartoon? It's the first I've heard about it. No, it's a live action Star Wars. Travels with Jason says, now on to a different note. Did you see the news from Hasbro about the next lot of retro figures? And we are back to New Hope. Is this correct? I have no idea. More information, please. Sly, you got anything through the post yet? I think you did.
As I mentioned, I got your card, Jason. Thank you very much.
I saw a concept art pic which gave me an attempt at a Star Wars Goonie vibe. Yeah, that is kind of the whole Skeleton Crew thing. Very much a Goonies vibe. I don't even remember if I did my shameless plug yet, but let me get to Jason's chat first. Glad you both got your cards. Excellent.
Thanks, man.
Max Video says, I didn't like Skeleton Crew either. What was with that suburban ET type neighborhood in Star Wars? Can that place exist? Well, I guess it can.
It did sort of take you out of the whole Star Wars vibe.
Yeah.
It was too close to like a normal,
Too
suburban
close to home,
neighborhood.
wasn't it? The whole, I mean, here's the thing though. In my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, aren't most genuine Star Wars fans guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s at this point? And why are they making shows for children who, at this point in time, are not watching TV?
They buy more of the merchandise, or their parents do.
Possible, but it does seem that Hasbro seem to just make everything for collectors like us, for our age groups. All the Black Series now to do the retro stuff. It's priced at adults.
Oh yeah,
£30 a figure is adult prices, isn't it? There's no kids
Really
saving up
is.
their pocket money for
No, but
that.
then
Back in the day, when it
really-
was like £1 or something, when we were kids, we could buy things with our pocket money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they made a major misstep with the Acolyte, didn't they? Because they produced those figures and then and no one bought any.
Yeah, and then in the show they killed them all, and there was only one decent character in the whole show, and they never made a figure of him.
Oh.
So,
I mean,
but there you go.
in terms of those Acolyte figures, what was the cheapest price?
I have no idea.
Don't know. But
Like
I mean, they were
20?
standard kind of, standard prices. They weren't.
I mean, bearing in mind, when I was a kid, I could literally take 2 weeks of pocket money and buy myself a Star Wars figure. That's not going to happen today when it's like, what, $20 or something, or £20 for one figure? Yeah.
I think a retro collection figure is €25 as a standard price.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane. And Tom has said, I'm glad to see people mostly enjoy Star Wars series for once since Mando. Yeah. Ratings wise, anyway. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been interested or excited by Star Wars really since Rogue One. I mean, that was, I thought that was fantastic, and that was really good, and I was really hopeful for, how things were going to sort of play out into the future. But it seems like that was almost a one-off, because it's been downhill since then.
Did you see Andor?
Yeah, didn't like it.
Andor. No, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't like it.
I thought it was really good.
I did appreciate the first season of The Mandalorian. I kind of like that. And then also Rogue One, of course. But that's it for me, because the new trilogy I really didn't enjoy. Even last series. I don't know. It's like we said before, maybe I'm getting a bit old for...
I didn't mind I liked the first series of Mando, and more or less the second. I think the third wasn't great. I didn't actually mind Ahsoka either. I found that okay, because I think mainly because of the Sabine Wren and Hera Syndulla characters, because I fancied them. I thought they were both quite watchable. I didn't actually mind that. I thought Obi-Wan was shit.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, complete waste of time. Now, my concern going forward is they're saying they are doing a Mandalorian movie, and as we saw in the last series of Mandalorian, anytime the Mandalorian gets in trouble, Grogu can use the Force. Right? We saw that in the last episode. Therefore, what's the point in going forward? Because the Force trumps everything, right? So this movie will be a case of Mandalorian does something, gets in trouble, Grogu uses the Force and wins the day. I don't want to watch that.
It's a bit like a time
third
machine.
Series of... Oh, sorry, Seth.
So it's a bit like adding a time machine to the story. Anything can be... can be solved in all ways by an element like that.
That's like in modern day movies. The first thing that people have to lose is their telephone. Otherwise, they can just save themselves with their telephone by looking something up or Google Maps or whatever.
Yeah.
Horror movies, I mean, horror movies.
Yeah.
Mm.
But with the Mandalorian, it's not it's the backstory. The story that's going on in the background is how you get from Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens.
Mhm.
How that has gone apart, and the Mandalorian has his own little adventures getting there, but it's what's happening in the background that's the important part.
Mhm.
But that is also the problem with all that Star Wars stuff, is they've got too much stuff in the background. So people are saying about the Skeleton Crew that it's really good because it's just got nothing to do with Star Wars that we know. There's no Skywalkers. Yes, there's a little bit of Force action, but other than that, it's just its own little thing.
Where did Skeleton Crew come from? Is it based on an animation or a comic or an extended universe thing?
I don't know.
I mean, when I first saw, I think it was several months ago, or certainly several weeks ago, Dean made a post about Skeleton Crew was coming out, and my first thought was there was going to be a Stephen King adaptation of his book. I thought that's what it was, and I was like, oh, I had no idea it was a Star Wars property. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's based on a comic book or anything. Maybe someone can let us know in the chat.
I hope so, because I have no idea what the concept is. And again, not to go into the whole sort of woke idea of stuff, but it just seems like the girl is the smart, strongest one, and the boys are kind of like dumb sidekicks. I hope it doesn't go that way, but it does kind of appear that way.
I don't know.
Well, at least there's some boys in there, and yeah. As long as see, this was the thing with the Acolyte. The worst thing about the Acolyte was, the politics from Disney themselves, and also letting their actors go on interviews and say, "Oh yeah, well, all Star Wars is gay, right?"
Yeah.
As soon as you say that, you've just alienated like 90% of your audience.
I never understood why that is necessary. I mean, like, Star Wars is a fictional story. You shouldn't stiff it up with all kinds of political ideas or social ideas or all this crap. Yeah. Just tell a good story in a galaxy far, far away. That's yeah.
Well, I actually thought the story of the Acolyte, what the actual story was quite interesting. It was actually showing the Jedis as being the bad guys. This Jedi wanted to have an apprentice so bad he stole a child away from her parents, basically. That's and he was trying to hide it, and then it all goes wrong. And I thought it was really cool that at the end she goes to the dark side. Unfortunately, the way the series was made, it was not.
So let me just run through the chat, and we can get on to a more upbeat topic, because clearly Star Wars is no longer upbeat for most of us. Jason says 6 new figures are Han in Stormtrooper uniform, Luke medal ceremony, Rebel Trooper, and 2 bar figures, and I think they did one already in the original 77 line. So is this a retro collection, perhaps?
I think so.
Damien says, I remember back in the day when I could get Star Wars figures for £1.99 in local news agent. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Jason again. Dean, send you the link to your Facebook message showing you the figures and hoping that it is true. I'll check that later. Tree Theodore, good to see you. Discovery and belonging in a galaxy is a theme in Skeleton Crew. Damien says Skeleton Crew is based on Kathleen Kennedy's Warped and Deluded Mind.
I think so.
Could be.
Hey to Tree and Theodore. Hey, Tree Theodore from Ben. Max Video says, did you notice the cameos in Skeleton Crew from the Michael Jackson, George Lucas short film Captain EO from the 80s. The Elephant Boy is also based on a Captain EO character. I did not see that. Ray says, I felt Star Wars fans have essentially been test subjects for Disney. They seem to be throwing anything at fans in the hopes that something sticks. Not everything sticks is good. Yes, it is good. And Jason then says, think the story is an original story lined up based off 80s films like Treasure Island and I guess Goonies and so on. And again from Jason, yes, retro lineup. Okay, thank you, Jason. So let's get into the first Christmas segment, and if I can find the damn video, we can make this thing start. So the first segment will be pick one gift for Christmas. So let me just run the quick video. So we are going to take a look at some gifts that could be available in the 80s. Now, I've done the catalogs to death, so I have chosen a few items to pick from. So here we go. Now, I'm going to make this big right here. So, and in fact, if I can just remove the Jason's valuable chat, but I want to get this thing full screen. So if you could pick one thing from this list here, which one would you pick? So we'll start with Monkey Boy, and we can go over this quite slowly. We have a selection of Star Wars toys, some Lego castles, some Transformers, and an Atari video game. Monkey Boy, which one would be your choice for Christmas?
Okay. Oh, I can hear myself. Hang on. Am I echoing to everyone else?
No, so it's all clear.
Okay. I think I will have. I think I'd take Megatron, please. I'd like
Megatron. Yeah.
Yep.
Ironically, the one gift I rejected on Christmas '85, and I will do a video on that shortly. So that was your pick, Megatron.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I always wanted him as a kid, and he's very desirable now, sort of in complete good condition.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a terrible figure, really, very flimsy.
Yeah.
But it's one I never had. So yeah, I think I'd pick that, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, now the funny thing is, technically, I had Megatron back in '85. It's a whole story I've shared before, but me and every boy in the UK wanted Optimus Prime for Christmas, and he was sold out. And this was before the internet and eBay and scalpers. So if your relative could not buy you Optimus Prime, you were out of luck. And my grandma hinted that she had bought me the toy that was a robot and a gun. And I said, oh no, that's not for me.
Oh.
And that will be shared in another video. But having acquired Megatron in recent years, yes, it's not a good Transformer, but at the time he was the big villain. So I guess a lot of kids kind of liked it. But for me, though, Transformers should be vehicles that can interact with each other. And having a human-sized gun was not part of that plan. Anyone agree with this?
Yeah. Well, I think Megatron was a carryover from the what's the line called?
Takara.
What was it? I forgotten the name of it now. But,
No, I understand. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? There was like
Yeah.
Soundwave and Megatron were part of a different line. Was it
Diaclone.
Diaclone or Machine Robo? One of those.
Hmm.
And so yeah, they were kind of a carryover from that line.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, the scale thing is a bit of an issue.
Yeah. So Monkey Boy chooses Megatron. Now, Seth, from this list, what would you pick?
I'm doubting a bit between two. That is the Killer Eye-Wing or the Atari game. Why the Eye-Wing? Because all the vehicles on this picture I used to have when I was a child, except for the Eye-Wing. And it always blew my mind that the Eye-Wing, in contrast with the X-Wing, could store the R2-D2 in the back. So I love that. Right. I never had that vehicle. I had it when I was like much older.
Yeah.
Or the Atari could be my choice also, but it depends on when you mean in the 80s. An Atari in 1985 or 1986, I would have really appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But after the release of the Nintendo, the 8-bit console, this was already old school in the 80s. There was such a big gap between what they could. So my choice is between the Eye-Wing and the Atari.
Right. Now, Sai, I know you're a big fan of Lego Castle. Does that picture there tempt you, or do you have something else in mind?
Well, yeah, I have something else in mind. The Lego, the smaller Lego castle. I have that. I actually have that in a box buried away in a cupboard at the moment.
Oh.
I'm a little bit confused whether I'm looking at this as a kid in the 80s or whether I'm looking at it now, and I can quickly nip back in my time machine, in my DeLorean, and pick one of these up from the stores. So if I could go back in time now and get one of these things to go in my collection now, it would either be the Y-Wing, because that's the one ship that I'm missing for my collection, or the Rebel transporter also, but I don't have any room really for that. That was quite a big one. Or it would be Megatron, because I'm missing him from my collection, and I had him when I was a kid. He's the only Transformer that I sold.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And I regret selling him.
Did you sell him in the Purge of 2010?
I sold. Yeah, he got purged. Yeah.
Oh no!
And I had great fun with him when I was a kid as well. I never transformed him out of gun mode, but as a gun, he was fantastic because you could pretend you were James Bond with it.
I've got the masterpiece, the masterpiece Megatron. It's just up there. I can't quite reach it now, otherwise I would show you. But it's on my bookshelf, and it was incredibly difficult to transform. It came in robot mode. I transformed it into gun mode, and I've never changed it back since. And I've actually lost the instructions, and there's no way I'd be able to work it out now. How to do it. It took me about 45 minutes to do.
He was, even back in the original one, back in the day, was an utter nightmare to transform. Utter nightmare to transform. And I got like some Chinese rip-off version of it now, which is much smaller than the original. And that, I thought I could film it, me transforming it, but it took me like 45 minutes to an hour to transform the thing. The instructions didn't make any sense at all. So I actually had to watch 2 different videos on transforming it, and then I could work out how to transform the thing.
And I think things are bad when you have to watch a YouTube video on how to transform a transformer, because I have done that numerous times. And sometimes it's just so obvious, like, how did I miss that?
I tell you what, I used to find difficult, and it's silly really, because it's quite a simple transformer. But the first wave of the Seeker jets that had the slightly rubber nose cone. Now the reason that was rubberized is because there wasn't quite enough space to flip the nose cone through the chest cavity, so it needed to be rubber to allow you to bend it through. But I never I didn't realize you were supposed to force it through in that way, so I could never
Yeah.
transform them. And I was like, these defeat me
Oh.
every time. I didn't realize that it was rubber for a reason, because you poke it through the
Right.
cavity.
Yeah, I think I was just a forceful child, and I just really just push
So-
it in there, and then
So we've all had a pick. I think for me, now bearing in mind, this is a range of years. I think for Christmas, I would still like to have the Atari, because it was the first chance to kind of play video games at home.
Yes, 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 yes.
And that was a big deal back then. It really was. And although I got the Grandstand Astro Wars, which was like a kind of handheld tabletop game, to be able to watch on your, well, when I say big TV, what we talking maximum like 30-inch back then? Maybe even
25, I think, maybe.
25, 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
not massive. I don't think there were any really huge.
No, they weren't, were they?
Um,
Well, actually, I think they were more deep.
deep
then they
than
were.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah,
still enjoyed it.
you couldn't put them against the wall, could you? Because they were always in
No.
the middle of the room wherever you put them,
Yeah.
because they were so damn deep.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, they tried to be kind of coy, whereby they would kind of stagger the back down, but there would still be this like big piece jutting out at the back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the ones that when they the really old ones had the buttons, the channel buttons, but they were really long, and you had to push them in about 4 inches to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
them to-
That was a satisfying click, though.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a proper chunky thing. And then the one that you had
Yeah.
pressed in previously would come firing out, you know,
Yeah, right.
quite
Yeah.
violently.
So we got some more. Let me just hang on. We got one, two. Let me just catch up with the chat here, so not to leave anyone out. So Tree has joined us and said, "Discovery and belonging in a galaxy is a theme in Skeleton Crew." Yes, belonging. Yes. Damien says Skeleton Crew is based on Kathleen Kennedy's warped and deluded mind. Hey to Tree from Ben. Did you notice
I
the
think we've done all
cameo?
these, Dean.
Rika? Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah, we've seen these ones before.
Yeah, we've done these ones, Dean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look,
I just,
No, you're right.
I actually just jumped into Ty there. I'm really sorry for that. Where did I get to? Well, hang on. Whoa, we've got a super chat, but hang on. I don't want to miss anyone out. Jason's Coglin's Law is here. So Coglin's Law, thank you for tuning in. And Tree, hey, what happened here? It's just disappeared.
So look, I'm looking at it now. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, but my screen has jumped immensely. Hang on. Oh, hang on.
Coughlin's Law is where you're up to. That's where you need
Right.
to take it from.
And Damien says Disney would do well to remember Mudsticks. Tree, thank you so much, sir. Merry Christmas to a number 4, please. So, Tree wishes to have video number 4, so I will give him number 4, which I believe is Repro Against You. So here we go. This is Tree's pick, and I apologize for the bad acting here.
The thing about Repro is that it takes everything you love about Star Wars and it uses it against you. It should be banned.
And bearing in
I have
mind,
to say, I just love that cheesy little smile you do at the
that
end.
little,
Yeah.
that little
Cracks me up
grin.
every time.
It's
that
terrifying.
is an actual quote I once received.
Ah.
Every one of those videos are based on a genuine quote. But Tree, thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate that. Next up, we have Ray saying, "I love the AT-AT. Never had one. Me too. I have never had an AT-AT in my hand, except maybe playing with it with my friend in early 90s, but never owned one." Jason says, "Me, I would go for a Lego castle." Yeah. Ben says, "Nice one, Tree. Very generous." Absolutely, Tree. Very generous. Reading movies. Hi, all. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Hello, Lewis.
Hey,
Reading
reading
movies.
movies. Hi from Italy. Good to see you all the way from Italy. Thank you for tuning in. Damien says, Microman. I guess that's Monkey Boy. What does that mean?
I think that was when I was trying to think of the line that Megatron and Sam
Right.
came from.
Gotcha.
I guess Damien's saying that was Microman.
Got you. Merry Christmas to Ben. Diaclone.
Yeah, that's what I thought first.
Yeah.
No, the Diaclone were the I think they were the vehicle based ones, and
Right.
I guess Damien's saying that Microman were the yeah.
And Impossible Pie says Megatron is better as a tank. Perhaps for a toy aspect, I would agree with that. Robo Machines was Bandai, I think, and rebranded it as GoBots. Robo Machine. Oh, again, same. So we're up to date now. Okay, so we've covered what would you like for Christmas. So it's probably time to go to the next segment, which I believe is, excuse me, food and drink only seen at Christmas. Here's the intro tape, I think. Here we go. So I can cancel this here slide and bring up a new one. Now, I have to do this show another 3 times or another 2 times. I apologize. So I can't include every item of food or drink that was seen only at Christmas. These are 4 items that I recall only ever being available at Christmas time. And we have 4 items. So let me just remove the chat. And I heard some laughter there. So let me, who's this? Tom says, the nerd character is brilliant. Oh, thank you, Tom. So, first up, let me explain. We had crisps or chips all year round, but only at Christmas did we get these really big bags. Now, does anyone else remember those big bags of crisps?
What does it say underneath the Golden Wonder logo? I can't read it. It's too small.
Can I make it bigger, perhaps?
My eyes are shaking.
Noiseless crisps.
Potato crisps. Ready salted potato crisps.
No, under Golden Wonder. What does it say there?
Britain's noiseless crisps. I find it interesting.
It's Britain's noisiest. Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, the country. Yeah.
That was the tagline, wasn't it?
Oh,
that's cool.
But my question is this. We had crisps all year round. This is nothing special, but those big bags only ever appeared at Christmas.
Oh, no, I remember having the big bags just as a normal thing.
No.
Like a bag,
I don't
like this, an
remember.
A4 sized bag, like that. It was like a standard chips.
Yeah.
Maybe in Belgium was different, I don't know.
I don't remember the big bags at all.
You don't?
No,
Oh
I
my God.
only remember having a small little single portion
Yes.
bag.
I remember the single serve bags, but at Christmas time, they would offer these big, like probably quadruple sized bags that only ever appeared at Christmas. And believe it or not, that one bag would last the whole 2 weeks of Christmas.
That must have been a huge bag.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was huge. Right. So no one else remembers the big bags of crisps.
No, I
No,
don't
Okay.
remember.
Sorry.
Moving on. Twiglets.
Twiglets, what's that?
Um,
I don't know.
Twiglets are like evil stick things covered in
Is it the
Marmite.
one in the right top corner?
Evil sticks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're these weird. Do you know what Marmite is?
Marmalade?
No, not marmalade. Marmite.
Oh, Marmite.
It's like a meaty tasting yeast extract. It sounds quite disgusting.
Yes. This is a bit
It
salty.
tastes
Yeah.
yeah, and it is quite disgusting. And the
Hey.
weird thing, personally, that I remember about Twiglets is I hated them, but once I had one, I couldn't stop eating them.
yeah.
Exactly.
I was
Used to
going to
taste
say
them.
that.
Yeah, I remember
say
them.
the same
I
thing.
had them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called like that.
Yeah, I was going to
Okay.
say the same thing. The first one you have is revolting, but then you sort of think, well, like, I'll have another one, and then
Yeah.
before you know where you are, and you're 30 deep, and you're like, actually, I could cope with this now.
Well, I mean,
Um,
Yeah.
I remember correctly that they tasted a bit like bitter.
very bitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Salt.
salty
No,
and
salty and bitter. Now, bearing in mind, as a 9-year-old kid, we weren't, or I didn't have access to the cupboard to buy or to bring out a bag of crisps at will. So anything that was offered on a plate, I would gladly accept.
Yeah.
These things were absolutely disgusting.
It's a disappointment on the.
They were there, so I would take them. And my memory is it was a dry pretzel covered in the most bitter, stickiest substance known to mankind.
Mhm.
Absolutely awful on all levels. But as a 9-year-old kid, it was free. I would take it. Is that about right?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
sure.
I don't remember them just being for Christmas. I remember only really having them at Christmas, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were available at other times of the year or not.
Yeah.
They would appear in a little bowl at Christmas, and you'd sort of go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, Christ!"
yeah, because you'd forgotten from the year before that you didn't like
Yeah.
them, but,
Yeah.
and then you'd be addicted to them, and
I mean, but Sai, bearing in mind, a year to a 9-year-old is similar to like a decade to us
Yeah.
now.
Mm.
That's
So
a good
you
point,
had
yeah.
you had no memory of that awful bitter taste, and you would
No.
gladly put that thing in your mouth. But yeah, they were absolutely awful. Now, moving on to the next one. Now, I'm going to correct myself here. I may have been in America for 20 plus years, but this is tomato juice. And what surprises me is the way this has been displayed with the lid off, because I distinctly remember my mother using that sort of punch with one hole on one side and one
Mhm.
hole on the other side to pour it.
Hmm.
But we only ever drank this juice at Christmas. Anyone else?
I
No,
have
I remember
never
seeing it in
ever had
bottles.
it.
No.
I do vaguely remember. I think even back then, I was a little bit weirded out that it was in a can. I was like, well, if it's juice,
Yeah.
why isn't it in a bottle? Like,
Right, exactly.
you know, it
No.
seems an odd thing to put in a bottle in a can, but
Now, the way this has been presented on the photo I grabbed off the internet, that's an extremely wasteful way of opening this juice, because if only 2 people want a drink of juice, you have to then accommodate a whole can of opened juice somehow. But I distinctly remember that. Now, anyone else remember that punch that
yeah.
for carnation milk example,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example? Yeah,
Oh,
one
yeah.
punch on one side, one punch on the other side, and you could pour.
Mhm. Yeah.
I never remember my mother ever taking the whole lid off.
No.
I'm trying
mean-
to remember. I have a very vague memory. Now you say about the milk.
Yeah.
That was cream. I'm sure it was cream. One
Yeah.
year we had cream and it
Yeah,
was like that.
condensed milk or cream or
Condensed
stuff
milk
like
of,
that. Yeah,
of Carnation cream.
yeah.
And I've never had the tomato juice, and
No.
I'm very confused why it's in a can and not in a bottle.
Well,
It's
I mean,
very
yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing, though. I think, well, actually, I know I'm the oldest here, but I am old enough to remember when restaurants would offer fruit juice as an appetizer on the menu. Anyone else?
Appetizer.
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah.
I think I might have a different culinary culture as you guys are more around Scotland, the UK.
Right. Yeah.
I think the kitchen in Belgium is more related to French kitchen. As far as I remember, we never had like tomato juice was rather rare, or like a fruit juice as an appetizer was a bit.
Yeah. I mean, so as a result, for my Christmas tradition, I always buy a bottle of tomato juice, and I put it in a glass, a bit of Worcester sauce, give it a stir, and that is a good Christmas memory for me.
I can remember the tomato juice being served with some kind of salt. How do you call it? Like with a little toast and some of this salty herb-like. I don't know in English. It was something you could buy in a cafe or something, or if you were the tavern.
Yeah.
Oh, like gazpacho.
What?
Gazpacho. I think that's. Like
no, that's cold soup.
Yeah,
it's the Italian thing. That's a bit different than the tomato juice with salt.
This is essentially cold tomato. Oh, I said it again. I apologize. Tomato soup.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so moving on to the last one, matchmakers. Now, Seth, I apologize. This was very much a UK thing.
Is it with mint in the chocolate?
Well,
that was after eight.
They had mint matchmakers, but Monkey Boy and Si, do you remember the old matchmakers at Christmas?
I don't remember the ones in the box like that. I certainly remember matchmakers. There was a mint one, there was an orange one.
Orange,
But that I mean, that box there, that looks like it came out of the 40s or something. I mean, that's
it's like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory design.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
yeah.
No,
I don't. I remember them being in a black box, if I remember rightly, with a window, with a plastic window on it. I think.
I don't remember that one. I remember the sort of squarer looking boxes that didn't have the window. But our matchmakers are lovely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Am I really so old?
Can you remember those
we
ones?
mainly had.
Well, I remember something similar, whereby there was no window, but only at Christmas did we ever get these sticks of chocolate, orange or mint. And it was, again, it's something I just associate with Christmas. So, well, I mean, obviously, this segment was a bit of a bomb, but don't worry, I have more for the next episode. So
I think that's right. That was good.
Well, it was good, but large bags of crisps, no one remembers.
No.
Twiglets, we have some memories.
Let's define the size of the bag in grams. How many grams approximately, or pounds?
Okay.
Oh, no, we're with that again, the metrics.
Okay, Seth, whatever size a standard bag is today, multiply it by 4, and that was the size of these big bags. And those things only ever appeared on shelves at Christmas time. So maybe in the late 70s, but in fact, most of you guys were what, 2?
Probably.
Yeah, like 3.
Yeah. So maybe that was like a 70s thing. Okay, so that's done. Did I address Tree's generous super chat?
Yes. What for the?
I did.
Oh,
no.
no, it's a new one.
Hang on, no, it's the same one, no?
No, this is a different.
No,
this
it's
is
different.
for video number 2.
Hang on. Whoa. And also, hang on, I gotta say, not using a mouse is not the easiest thing. So hang on, wait a minute. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm way behind here. So obviously, just to explain what happened here, when I do a full screen to do these segments, I cannot see the chat. So things have been going on quite crazily in my absence. I don't know what I got before. Whoa, hang on. So right now is 11:02 for me. So I'm going to pick a spot. I don't want to miss anyone out, but if I do apologize. Tom says, I got to ask, seeing those matchmakers, were the length of the box, if so seriously, missed out? No, they weren't. No, I remember matchmakers being what? 6-inch? Is that correct?
Really, that long?
Yeah, about
They were
that.
pretty
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
About right.
I cannot. Jason can't remember them. Wow. Hello to all things 80s. Well, thank you, Tim. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Monkey Boys Toys. Let me get through this quick. Hello to Sai.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, Seth Travels. Reading Movie says 80s Christmas for me included bowls of mixed nuts. Yep. After eights and dates and figs. All things I still dislike. Oh, I still love those things. Tim says hi to Tree. Ben says Teddy's chocolate orange. Yep. And a long tube of fruit pastels were Xmas only treats. Yep. Those long tubes were the best.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah. And Jason says, totally agree, Simon. Good boy. I was the same. Still don't buy them now. Tim says hello to Ben. And Tim says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Tim. Ray says, yuck. Those sticks don't sound very appealing. Christmas snack torture. Yeah. Those twiglets were not the best, has to be said. And twiglets are still grim. You know what? I would love to try one today, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Merry Christmas to Tim Hayes from Tree. Sorry. Merry Christmas, reading movies, and I was one of the latch kids back in the 80s, so I could help myself to what I wanted and cook my own dinner. Wow. So. Okay, so Tree, thank you, Tree, very generous. He has asked for video number 2. So let me give Tree video number 2, which I believe is, if I can find it. Good Lord, where am I here? Okay, video number 2. So he had. Video number 2 is Fake Collector.
Just admit it. Your collection's fake. You're not a real collector.
Good Lord. So I got to remove this. And okay, back to the chat. The things I do for pleasure. I should be ashamed of myself. Jason says, what is it? Barmy Tree? Up the Barmy Tree? Tree, how work going? Okay. Bloody Marys, I remember that, and you wouldn't be offended. Celery salt with it. Yeah. Bloody Marys. Yeah, celery salt. Yeah, what happened to that? Does it still exist? Anyone remember the Matchbox model kits as opposed to the Matchbox toy? Well, I remember the Matchbox toy soldiers, or was that Airfix?
Model kits by Matchbox. I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Matchbox did a whole set of toy soldiers, if I remember rightly,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I do remember most Matchbox products were really decently made, strong toys.
Right.
I presume that if they would have made model kits, that they could have been great. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I don't think I
really-
had it.
oh, go ahead, Si.
No, the Matchbox model kits. I vaguely remember them, but I don't think I had any. I had a lot of the Airfix ones.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Airfix.
A lot of the aeroplanes. It's possible. I had a whole box of mixed toy soldiers, and I think I got them from my neighbor. And it's possible there was some Matchbox bits in there.
Are we
That was
talking
one
about
time
this
ago, I don't have them anymore.
the small toy soldiers, like the plastic ones in one piece that you could use in the garden?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
a bit like the Britain's toy soldiers, but
Yeah.
just
Ah, yeah,
all
but then yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rich is saying to hello to everyone. Thank you, Rich. Shredder, Merry Christmas, and sorry I'm late. No apologies required. Tom says, "Goddamn, matchmakers are half the size now." Yeah, I'm sure they are. Those things were massive back in the day. Shredos and Merrick. Juan says, "Hi, Dean. I'm in the hospital recovering from an operation. Get well soon, please." Yes, I'm sure
All the
we all
best, man.
agree with that.
All the best.
Ray says, "Hope for a speedy recovery to Juan." Yeah, absolutely. Recovers and Airfix both did model toy soldiers. Airfix even released a set of SAS figures based on the 1980 Iranian embassy siege.
Ah.
Wow.
Cool.
Excellent. Tom says, "Speaking of Britain's toy soldiers, I'm hoping to find a few of the vehicles for Christmas." Good luck, sir. So, okay, now we can do the next segment. So we've done pick one for Christmas, food only at Christmas. Now, Seth, I have to apologize. This was TV broadcast in the UK.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can understand the shows we watched as children at Christmas time in the UK.
We might have a lot of similar shows.
I will give you the quick video introduction. Right. So here we have the shows that were broadcast on the TV in the UK. And Seth, again, I do apologize that you were not necessarily a witness to this, but we can go ahead and compare the two channels. So in Christmas Day 1985, BBC opened up with pages from CFAX. And that was basically the beginning of the internet, I guess, where it was just information on the screen. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We and actually in the Netherlands we sort of have a similar thing now on Channel 1, where first thing in the morning, when it's just too early for anyone to watch TV apart from me because I'm crazy and get up at silly times. They're basically just, it's almost like CFAX. It's just a bit of music playing in the background and it's just telling you the news and you just read it.
We used to call it, I think, Telefax. I'm not sure. We had a system also with a different name.
Maybe teletext, because
Teletext,
I think
that was it. Yes, teletext. That's what we had.
Yeah, BBC had CFAX and ITV was teletext.
Yeah, exactly. So after the pages from CFAX, BBC gave us Play School, which was for infants. 8:55, The Muppet Babies.
Oh,
And I don't think I ever really watched that, to be honest.
Muppet Babies.
Babies.
I knew about it, but
Yeah,
Right. I didn't really watch that.
I remember it, but I remember the alternative thing you'd sing would be Muppet Babies. We've all got rabies. But there you go.
Wow. And the best part of that was, that was the most offensive thing you could think of back in 85. It's very tame by today's standards.
Probably, yeah.
So after that, we had Knock Knock, which I don't know what that was.
No, I can't remember that.
This is the day I assume was the kind of Christmas service type thing. And then we had the movie, the Gnome Mobile from 1967.
Oof.
Don't
Don't know
recall that.
movie.
Roland's Yuletime binge was obviously Roland Rat because he had transferred from ITV to BBC at this point.
Ah,
Okay.
And-
I obviously remember him, but I couldn't have told you what channel he was on.
ah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. If anyone asked me a question, what channel was Roland Rat on? I would have said ITV, but apparently he was indeed ITV and then transferred to the BBC.
Ah.
So after Roland Rat, we had Noel Edmonds' live Christmas breakfast show, which ran for almost 2 hours, or in fact, over 2 hours. I don't know if it was live or not, but that was a hell of a show. But then we had Top of the Pops, always watched that. And then the Queen's Speech, the Children's Royal Variety Performance. Now, don't be put off by the name. Although it was, I think, in benefit of children, they had some good artists on that performance. You
Yeah.
had all the top pop stars of the day, the best comedians. At 4:55, All Creatures Great and Small,
Oof.
which was kind of boring for me as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one
That
for the
was-
parents.
Now, was that Peter Davidson?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it
I don't know.
possibly was.
I don't know.
Possibly was.
That was that James Herriot thing, wasn't it? With
Yeah.
people sticking their hands up cows' bums and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we had the news and the weather. Then we had Heidi High, which was always a fun show.
Uh-huh.
At 7:30, Only Fools and Horses to Hull and Back, which was always a good Christmas show.
Yeah.
But next up was my favorite, the Two Ronnies at 9 p.m.
Very good.
9:50, bit more news and weather. 10 o'clock, Wogan. And the film was The Absence of Malice from 1981.
Oof,
So-
those films weren't good on Christmas
It
Day
took-
that year.
No, it took 4 years, and then we had the weather, and then closed down. So onto ITV, they had TVAM, Christmas Fraggle Rock, which was pretty
Nice.
good. Bit
Nice.
of Danger Mouse,
Nice.
Nice.
Christmas morning service, probably a bit boring for kids. Disney at Christmas, probably quite exciting. The film was The Black Hole.
It's a good one.
Ooh.
Interesting.
1 p.m. was Jim Davidson's top pop videos of 85, which was clearly trying to like borrow off Top of the Pops.
Hmm.
2 p.m. was the Royal Year, and then we had the Queen's Speech at 3. 3:05, we had the James Bond film Moonraker.
Mm.
Bearing in mind, ITV had the best movies. I guess they had the bigger budget than the BBC because every year ITV had the best movies to show on Christmas Day.
Mm.
5:30 was the news. 5:40, Name That Tune. 6:10, and they even put Coronation Street on Christmas Day.
Ugh.
Hey. 6:45 was Fresh Fields Christmas special. I don't know what that is.
Dunno.
7:30 was Minder on the Orient Express, and I think that was the TV show Minder
Uh-huh.
with Arthur Daly.
Yeah.
9:30 Des O'Connor Tonight, so another chat show. 10:40 the ITN News with Carol Barnes, I think, and 10:50 was the film Gregory's Girl from 1981. So that kind of shows you there. On UK broadcast TV, you have to wait at least 4 years to get a movie shown on the TV. And at 12:30 we had Christmas Night Thoughts, and at 12:40 it all closed down. So clearly the film was better on ITV, but do we agree that for the most part the shows were a little bit better on BBC, or am I wrong here?
It's a
Well, the
difficult one
BBC
because ITV started off strong with Fraggle Rock and Danger
Yeah.
Mouse.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I would have been switching between. I would have definitely taken Fraggle Rock and Danger Mouse in the morning.
mhm.
Yeah,
But-
I'd obviously be watching Moonraker as well. There was
Yes.
no way I was going to miss the James Bond movie at Christmas.
Mhm.
Now,
But then, as you say, the evening shows, it's two Ronnies. It's definitely two Ronnies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, now, is it true to say that for the most part, the BBC was a little bit highbrow than ITV?
Yeah, for the most part, I would say.
For the
so.
most
I'd say
part.
so.
But
a
ITV
bit
won
more
on the
stuffy.
movies.
BBC
A
was
bit
a bit more
stuffy.
stuffy.
Yeah. But for some reason, ITV got the best movies.
Mm.
Because I remember, I think it was Christmas '88, they showed Empire Strikes Back, which
Yeah.
was ironically my first viewing of that movie. But they had Superman, they had all the Bond movies.
Yeah. Well, they were
And
probably
B-
getting
Yeah.
more from the advertising than the
Yeah.
BBC were getting from the license fee.
Yeah, because
They
BBC
still have all
had,
the Bond movies, right?
yeah,
ITV have the rights to all the Bond movies still.
Yeah. and
That's amazing that they've managed to keep it.
yeah, because I think every Bond movie I ever saw was on ITV. And likewise, now here's my question. Star Wars debuted in '77. And what year did it first hit the UK TV? Does anyone know?
No.
Don't know.
But it must have been ITV for sure, right?
I would have thought so, but I
think
really
so.
don't know. I really don't know.
I can't remember. Now my brother was born around Christmas time in 1982, and I have a home movie which he was still a baby, so it would have been early '83, and I'm in the background talking about. I obviously hadn't seen Empire Strikes Back yet, and
Yeah.
maybe we were going to watch it on. That must have been showing sometime, but in my home movie, I'm actually saying, "Hey, Luke Skywalker's father has killed himself because Obi-Wan said that Darth Vader killed Luke's father, but he is his father, so he must have killed himself."
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's around '83, so I must have seen.
Yeah.
I must have seen
Wait.
Empire Strikes Back by that time as well.
Now,
I don't know.
here's where I get really confused, because I always assumed that Batman was shown on BBC Two. Turns out it was only ever shown on ITV.
Mm.
Now, the movie, I remember my father recording on VHS for me that I would watch over and over again. And I don't recall any commercial breaks. So I don't know if the TV show was on ITV, but the movie was shown on BBC Two. And likewise, I also do recall watching over and over again was the Flash Gordon movie, which I'm assuming was
Yeah.
BBC, because I don't recall any commercial breaks in that.
Mm.
Did you guys?
Hey,
Sorry. Say.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Did you guys watch foreign news channels on television also, or only?
We didn't have the access.
We didn't have.
Yeah, no?
We only had 3 channels up until.
Yeah,
What was, when did Channel 4 start? Was it like
think
84 or something?
82.
82.
82.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
remember
4 channels.
at the end of the 80s here in Central Europe, you could see French channels. I could see the BBC One, BBC Two.
No, we didn't see any of that.
And from channels from Holland, we also could receive on our, but it was already cable television. It wasn't. I don't know if you guys are talking about the time it was antenna. What is it? Broadcasting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
terrestrial
just,
TV. It's amazing
yeah.
actually how far behind the UK was from the rest of the world. I mean,
Okay.
America had
Really
even at that
was.
point they had cable with dozens and dozens of channels,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
had 3. We had 3 to pick from.
Strange. Yeah.
I mean,
When did satellite TV come into arrive in the UK? 'Cause I remember my father
Late
got a
80s.
satellite dish. Was it late?
About
I couldn't-
80,
Late
88
80s.
maybe.
Yeah.
Late 80s? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
87,
Yeah.
88 perhaps.
I mean, given that I first saw Empire Strikes Back, and it must have been 87, 88, and that was the first ever broadcast of that movie. And that was like, what, 7, 8 years after the fact?
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. But the thing is, though, ITV somehow got the best movies.
I reckon it's because of the advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon
Every year.
it's got more money, eh?
The
Yeah.
license
But
fee,
then
the
isn't it
license
a
fee
thing
wasn't
that-
going to cover the purchase of big movies like that, because they were
Yeah.
spending all of it on their programming, whereas ITV could basically charge what they wanted. If they were going to chuck Star Wars on, they'd be,
Yeah.
companies would be biting their hand off to advertise during
Yeah.
that showing.
But the BBC would always spend their money on making their own content more than
Yeah.
having a big movie.
Yeah.
I mean, now, do we agree that for the most part, original shows from the BBC were probably better than originals from ITV?
Well, the thing is ITV used to, they would sort of contract out all their shows to regional
Mhm.
regional companies, wouldn't they, like Anglia or Yorkshire TV or whatever, and they would produce movies, and then they would all get shown,
Mm.
under the ITV channel.
Yeah.
But I don't think they kind of split up all the productions regionally, whereas the BBC were obviously all
Yeah.
sort of all in
Yeah.
one place. So
I mean, obviously, we are talking at this point in time 4 decades ago. I just recall BBC having better kids shows than the ITV did. Although, in saying that, things like Timmy Mallett's Whack-A-Day was always a lot of fun. But for whatever reason, during the school holidays, I tended to be a kind of BBC watcher. Am I? Yeah.
The only show that I can definitely 100% say that was on the BBC as a kids show was Grange Hill that I used to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And I seriously don't remember. Like Danger Mouse, if you were to ask me
Right.
an hour ago what channel was Danger Mouse on, I would have probably said BBC.
Mm.
I just don't remember. And I
And
must
that's
have
the
been flicking between the channels
Yeah.
after school
Oh.
in the afternoons.
I
No,
also was a flicker, and I always, for the last, 20 years, thought Banana Man was an ITV show. Turns out that was a BBC show. And
Okay.
and likewise, I think I discussed it already. It got confusing because Roland Rat, I think, started on ITV, and somehow a puppet made a transfer to the BBC, which is quite remarkable, really. I don't know how a puppet has that much power, but he did make that move.
He just had a
Speaking
good
of-
agent.
Speaking of Banana Man, I think, let me see. As far as I can make out, it was probably 88. The first. I've got a Dandy annual here with Banana Man
Oh,
on it.
nice.
Now, I didn't realise that. First of all, I'd completely forgotten that Banana Man was actually in the Dandy, and I don't think there was any other character
No.
that had its own his own TV show, or kind of. It's weird. You would think that a character is more likely to move from a comic to a cartoon, but Banana
Right.
Man, I believe, went the other way and went into
Oh,
started to appear in the
wow.
Dandy, but he didn't stay there. He migrated to the Beano after a number of years.
Wow.
Okay.
So Banana Man is technically now a Beano character, not a Dandy character.
Well,
So
okay.
Okay.
isn't it?
I can
Just
say
still
for
just
sure,
moved
but
down.
by 88, I was not receiving any annuals for Christmas. So this is all news to me. So hang on, are we saying that Banana Man went from a cartoon on either BBC or ITV
Mhm.
into the Beano,
No, into the Dandy.
into the Dandy, and then into the Beano?
Yeah, I'm not sure how long he was in the Dandy for. I reckon maybe, I want to say 12, 15 years, maybe a bit longer. But then I've forgotten the year he moved over to the Beano. So he's actually
Wow.
appeared in both of them. I've got
That
every
is-
Dandy annual from the 80s just here, literally just off camera. They're all sitting here.
Hang on, hang on now. I'm so far behind here. Hang on, it's 10:50. Did I get this one? Did Tree ask for number 2 already?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So, okay. I'm just trying to catch up here. I mean, there's a lot of chat, but given the format of this show, I'm not really keeping my eye on things. I do apologize for that. Let's just see what Tim says. Christmas Fraggle Rock. I remember the Muppet Family Christmas special here in the States, featuring the Muppets from the Muppet Show, Sesame Street, and Fraggle Rock. Yeah, Fraggle Rock, I remember being a big deal in my playground. I guess 85. And Luke has a comment to say, hey chaps, good to see Christmas live streams from you, Dean, and season
Yeah.
to you. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Max Video says, love getting radio times. Yep.
Yeah.
A load of blank VHS and circle all the films I wanted to tape. We all did that.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Ryan, thank you, sir. 88 Christmas streams have been a joy over the years. I just realized I really look forward to this every year. Thank you. Oh, video 5. All right. Thank you, Ryan. I will give you video 5 if I can find it. So 1, 2, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Star Wars every day. Here we
There's
go.
nobody in this world is a bigger Star Wars fan than me, because I watch Star Wars every single day.
Good Lord. Thank you, Ryan. Very generous of you. And hang on. I've lost my. That was Ryan. Luke says, hey to Tim and Jason. Ben is back in. Merry Christmas to Luke. Reading Movies says ITV had the commercial backing. Yeah, they had the big money behind them.
Mhm.
Yes, ITV first show Star Wars back in '82. I believe that was the year we got to see it. Yep. I agree with that, Jason. And Ben is saying, nice one, Ryan. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Ryan. Star Wars was 82, which was on ITV. Was the first time I watched as a child. You can say it changed my life. Yeah, I think it changed many adult lives. Damien says, love, it has a commercial breaks is ITV. BBC. Yeah, that's one thing about BBC. There were no breaks in their shows. Tom says, I'm aware that Batman the movie didn't have the copyright issues the show did, as it was able to go on to home media before the show. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Hang on, what's this, Jason? Thank you, Jason. Merry Christmas. Number 5.
Oh,
okay. Number 5. Oh, again.
You've been beaten to it, Jason.
There's nobody in this world is a bigger Star Wars fan than me, because I watch Star Wars every single day.
These were real comments that people left on your, your video.
But Si, the sad part is, I am more comfortable playing a character than I am being myself. So,
I think you should smile like that. You should smile at people all the time.
Hang on, there's even more coming. Hang on. So, Ben says, "A nice one, traveled more than Jason. Merry Christmas." Yeah. Merry Christmas, Jason. Damien says satellite TV came to the UK in '87 with Sky. I remember Sky, and they came along. Ben 5. Ben, ask me for a video, please. Pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me see. Yes, ITV is regional. Northern Ireland is Ulster Television. So okay. For example, I had STV. Monkey Boy, what did you have for ITV?
That's a great question. I can't even remember. I mean, now I'm in Norwich. I have Anglia, or I would have Anglia.
And that was the kind of silver model that turned.
Yeah, the horse guy. Yeah, but I wasn't actually living here at that point. I was down in Devon. So I guess we would have had TSW, Television Southwest.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember what we had in Kent. Maybe Jason remembers what it was that we used to have.
And, Ben just voted for number 3, Dean.
Oh, number 3 for Ben. So here we go. Number 3 is 1, 2. Oh, too poor for Star Wars.
If you can't afford a real one, then maybe collecting Star Wars isn't for you.
Good Lord.
How did you do the push in at the end in the edit?
Edit, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was just me on my own because I hit record and I do that, and in edit I do the forced zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good Lord. What am I thinking? Reading Movie says, just to say that ITV is currently showing the Star Wars movies every Saturday evening at the moment. Is this correct? Interesting.
What versions are they showing?
Good question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Tom asks, do that smile to close a video from now on.
Yeah. Scary.
An audition for the Joker.
Yeah. Ray says, Dean, if I saw that guy in the street, I'd run as fast as possible and hide in the nearest ditch. Jason says, we had cable TV in the early 80s before we got sat. Cable before satellite.
I never had
Lucky boy.
Yeah.
Did you have then? Wasn't it a click dial switch? A friend of mine also had cable TV very early. Sure,
Yes.
didn't have a remote control for it because it was before remote controls, and you actually had to click a
Yeah,
dial.
you have to manually crank like a button to have the right frequency, or like what was the bandwidth on the cable
Yeah.
and you had to do it for every channel manually on the television. Yeah. So, but
hang on.
it was the same thing with the antenna. If you had an antenna, you had to adjust.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, 80s were fantastic.
I just want
I
to say,
remember when remote controls came out and they were on a lead, you had to attach them. We had one for the VCR, and I think it was about 9 meters long or something. It was crazy.
On the toilet, adjusting the television.
so before I make one of my infamous bathroom breaks, I want to say a big thank you to Luke to say they are so funny, Dino. Thank you, Luke. Hang on, what happened here? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
We can still
I can
hear
hear
you.
you.
You can't see me.
No.
No.
Hang
Are you
on.
getting
What
into a cup?
Hey, and you can still hear me.
Yes.
I can still hear you. Yeah.
So somehow I have clicked something that is not a good click. Let me just get back to this. So are you able to still keep talking amongst yourselves while I fix this out?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Sure. What are
So-
you guys doing for Christmas this year?
Perfect. Thank you, Si.
I'm not going to do an awful lot. I'm just going to go and spend the day with a friend or a couple of friends, have some Christmas dinner, and then pop out to some other friends for the evening, a couple of drinks. But yeah, fairly quiet one. Nothing outrageous planned. Seth.
Well, as every year, Christmas itself we'll spend with the whole family. We all come together at my mother's place. And I will also be building the Carrera slot track. Somewhere
very cool.
between Christmas and New Year, I'll set it up here and we go racing, having beers.
Wow.
And for the rest, I have a few free days, which I'll probably spend making my projects and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
what will you do, Sven?
Yeah, I've managed to somehow work that I've got 2 weeks free for Christmas. So I've got 2 weeks off work. My wife has just become a teacher, so she's got 2 weeks off work, and obviously my 2 kids are 2 weeks free from school. So yeah, I'll be trying to avoid my family for 2 weeks.
What do you do?
No,
What does your family do with present? Is there a present or a gift protocol? Do you allow the kids to open all their presents in the morning, or do you wait and do it all
Yeah.
later in the day?
Yeah, well, we've had Sinterklaas, so
Yeah,
that
yesterday.
was on Thursday. So the
Oh,
kids
he's
have already
been.
got, like,
Yeah.
it's already been. So we've already had our main present, and yeah, it was quite funny. Last week we went to an electronics store because my oldest son wanted a VR headset, and so we bought that for him. And then when we got home, I was like, well, you really should test it, make sure it works. I've never, he's 14 and I've never seen him so excited in his whole life. So he's got this thing out and he's turning it on. Oh yeah, it really works. Oh yeah, it's really good. Charging it up so that it's fully charged. And I was like, excellent. Now put it back in the box. You've got 20 days to wait until Christmas. But yeah, so we let him have it on Thursday.
Oh,
Which
And yeah, he was very happy.
which
And he
headset?
almost won.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Excuse me. Excuse me
problem.
to interrupt. No, which headset did you buy?
It's the Meta one by Facebook.
The
Meta something 3.
what's it called?
Apparently it's
The wireless one. The
yeah.
Quest
Yeah.
4 or something.
Yeah, that's it. Quest
Quest.
3.
L3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've not been allowed to go near it.
You should test it. It's really nice. I've been using the Oculus Rift like 5 years ago when it was released, and already by that time I was impressed by what the thing could do. The immersiveness of a VR experience is, yeah, next level. I'm even amazed that not more people who play computer games, not more of them use it, because if I would be a gamer, I think it would be my go-to advance.
I've never done VR in my life. Never done
you
it.
should try it. Really,
Yeah.
it's amazing. The sense of scale. If you see, like, if you play a video game on your computer screen, it's always in the rectangle or the size of your screen.
Mhm.
But for example, I was playing a game on the Oculus Rift with how do you call this, big manga robots? This tall,
Oh yeah.
gigantic robots.
I
If you
know what
see
you
in
mean,
VR, you really stand next to a robot. It has a different sense of scale. Yeah, really try it.
Okay.
Try it. It's
My brother-in-law, he has a VR headset. It was quite a few years ago, and he told me that I should try it. So I tried it, and he loaded up it was a simulator, so it wasn't a game, but you go into a Lancaster bomber, and you're going to go on a
nice.
bombing run over
I've seen this.
I don't know, Germany somewhere.
Yeah.
But the recording, someone actually did this in the war. A reporter went up in a bomber, and they recorded everything that happened
Sounds. And
in the bomber. So you've got the pilot talking to the rear gunner, and I've gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
can still hear you, though.
Anyone see me? I
Can't see you.
disappeared. Yeah,
We can hear you.
Weird.
But the
No,
simulator
anyway, but
experience-
the it was really cool to be in it, because you just just
you can look around and be
like
there.
going on a bombing run. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've tried this also with fighter planes and all, like the Spitfire or the Messerschmitt, and you could really see them through VR. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And games also, like shooter games, are really I found it more I say this, intensive playing. If you've been playing a VR shooter game for half an hour, it's a workout almost. Because you are moving around with the gun, interacting with the quick pace of the game. Yeah, interesting. Interesting medium.
Oh.
Cool.
So, are you ready for this final segment?
Thanks,
where,
Ray. Cheers, man.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Final segment where we will ask for one memory of Christmas in the 80s. So let's go. So, what is one memory you have of the 80s that really stands out in your mind?
Good question.
Monkey Boy first.
Okay, well, I think I've sort of told this short story before on one of your streams, but my mind always goes. It's the first thing my mind goes to, and it's not a happy story, but it is a story.
Okay.
And my mind always goes here. Whenever I think of Christmas, I think of the time that I got the Dinobot Snarl for Christmas, and I took him out of the box. I transformed him into a robot. I transformed him back into a dinosaur. I sat him on the floor behind me. I went to open another present, opened that present, and then I sat on Snarl and broke his tail off. And so literally within 10 minutes of having him, I'd broken him. I still have the same one, and his tail is it's super glued on now, but this was back in the day before super glue was like a common household thing. I mean, I'm sure it was about, but we didn't have any. So for years his tail was stuck on with a bit of chewing gum.
Wow. Now, Jason, I really need to have glasses at this point, but Jason says, we having Christmas at mine and my brother, but next Christmas will be Christmas in Tokyo. So Christmas Day will be in Tokyo, and New Year there as well. It'd be First Christmas Away. Wow, interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
And
I
Luke
wonder what Christmas
says,
is like in Japan.
yeah, Luke says, Sai, that is one banging Xmas jumper. You
Yeah.
have superb taste. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good Christmas jumper.
Yeah, it's
It
cool.
really is.
Yeah, Boba Fett. Now I see. Sorry.
And
Okay,
Ray
well-
says, I have to head out. It was a great being able to wake up early to watch Dean and company on the Christmas live stream. I've always loved your Christmas live streams since day one. Thank you. Well, thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Ray,
Cheers, Ray.
and thanks for the kind words earlier on.
We can
Thank
see
you.
you now. Yeah, I think I'm back, and hopefully see you next week. Yes, absolutely. And Damien says one memorable moment was getting the Zebby
Oh, Evil Knievel stunt cycle.
Evil Knievel. Yeah, oh, fantastic toy. And just to catch up, Reading Movie says fantastic Christmas jumper retro guys. Because they have the same one. Excellent.
Great minds think alike, eh? Great minds think alike.
So we have Monkey Boy's Christmas memory. Sai, do you have a very memorable memory?
Yes, I do. And I just as you were saying about the memory thing, I had to look behind me at my mask collection.
Right.
And maybe you can't see because my name isn't away. Where are we? Here. Here is Jackhammer. And I remember, and it was probably Christmas 85, I guess. And I remember when I got that because that was my Christmas of Mask. And I think I got Rhino as my main present. And I remember waking up, it must have been Boxing Day. And I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I was playing with that thing. And my mother had to come into my room and tell me to go back to sleep, basically, because I was making so much noise. But actually on Christmas Day, the last present I got was from my grandparents, and I'd asked for Jackhammer, and it was one thing I hadn't got yet. So I remember you get the package and you're like, oh, this is Jackhammer sized box, and just it's the most excited I ever remember ever being. And I remember ripping the paper off going, Jackhammer, 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 and yes, it is Jackhammer. And just that's my top Christmas memory, being absolutely excited about having the Jackhammer.
Nice.
Yeah. And Seth, what is one really good memory for you?
Well, I remember I must have been around 87, 88. I will at Christmas time. We had a tradition under the Christmas tree. There is this little shed, a shed in which the crib of Christ is. I don't know if you have this tradition. We put little miniature sheds under our Christmas tree with there the figures of the three kings, Christ, and all.
Like, Christmas nativity, like a nativity scene.
A nativity scene, exactly. I was looking for the word. That's the thing. We and every family, if most families had their figurines in school, we were asked children in Friday afternoon. We always had the creative hour. We were asked to make a little Christmas shed. And we had wooden planks and nails and a hammer and a saw, and I found this quite spectacular. So I was working with it, and I was amazed that nobody in my classroom, all the children, they couldn't really handle the material, the designs. They were completely didn't work. They just. But I had seen my grandfather, who was a carpenter, use wood, and I had a little design, so I made a shed. And all of a sudden, the teacher came in and said, like, okay, in the classroom, all children should copy sets little shed now, because otherwise, you go home with nothing. So I remember, and I was also really happy with what I made. I was like, it was a really simple design, 4 wooden planks with a diagonal roof, just fitting our figurines. And it stood under our Christmas tree, and I think it lasted for a few years. So that was a very good memory.
Cool.
So you were doing like very proficient construction, and I was breaking toys with my ass.
I was breaking toys also, but with a hammer or a screwdriver.
Right.
And Dean, what's your memory?
Yeah.
Well, I have many. I think one of my best ever was the fact that, and I've said this before, my best memories of Christmas were before the notion that you could write a list to Santa. And maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, Santa would just bring stuff. And one year, probably 79, if I estimate, I got one box with the Spider-Man Jeep and the Green Goblin in the sort of bag on the back of the Jeep, because I didn't ask for that. That just kind of came from Santa. And if the truth be told, all my best memories are from that time period, because once you got to the age of 5 or 6, you understood the concept that you could write a list of things you wanted and give it to Santa. And of course, parents would then take that list. But before that, I had no idea that you could write a list of things you wanted. So my best gifts were things that just came. One of those things was the Spider-Man Jeep with the Green Goblin in the back of the Jeep.
Oh, that sounds cool. I haven't seen that, but that sounds cool.
No, it really was a wonderful thing, because I think round about 80, 81, it all became a bit commercialized. So prior to that, kids had no idea what they were getting for Christmas.
Mm.
Or maybe I'm wrong on this, but in my experience, bearing in mind that at this point in time, I'm 4 years old. So not necessarily understanding the concept of the list to Santa, but just enjoying the whole Christmas thing, lights, tinsel, baubles, loving it. And then suddenly you go to bed on December 24. The following day you wake up and there are gifts under the tree that you never asked for, had no idea what was coming. And that was the best ever Christmas, because I'd never asked for Action Man or Spider-Man. I just went to bed knowing that Santa was going to bring me something. And to wake up the following day and open wrapping and find amazing toys, that was the best ever Christmas experience.
Oh.
And nothing will ever replicate that. I mean, as things stand for this year, I've already purchased my own gift.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
This is 88 wrap, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
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 No, you're right. And what you're saying about Santa is, so I always remember I would always ask my parents what I wanted from them for Christmas, from my grandparents. So you kind of knew what you were going to get, right? But also with Santa or Father Christmas, hey, that was always a mystery. There would always be a book, some really cheapy toys and things. But I remember also getting like I got this guy. Was also a gift from Santa.
Oh wow!
Miles Mayhem from the little adventure packs.
Oh.
And it was always something small, but you never knew what it was going to be. That was you wake up Christmas morning and those gifts would have magically been put there.
Yeah,
and just spending.
I remember with the Christmas, our gifts were being placed under that tree already weeks before. We saw them. We knew that they were there, but we just couldn't touch them. The tradition of the Christmas man coming over at night bringing presents, we had, as we discussed last year, I think, we had with Sinterklaas.
Yeah.
Sinterklaas, you ordered something and he brought it at night in the morning, but at Christmas, we knew these presents came from our parents and they put them under the tree like 2 weeks in advance or something. And it took quite a discipline to not touch them, to not go and have a look to the size
Yeah.
of the gates. You know?
Yeah. Trying to break the sellotape so you could just have a little look into
No.
it.
It's
What-
kind of tricks, yeah.
What I remember,
I
my
actually
parents
wouldn't-
would give me the main present from Santa Claus. So they would
Mhm.
get me stuff as well. But
Okay.
like the big thing that I wanted from memory was
Yeah.
from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the
How-
tag, to Dean from Santa.
Hmm.
Okay.
And that was a wonderful thing.
Hmm.
I never
really
got
was.
any messages from Santa. I just got
Oh.
the gifts loose in like
Ah.
a pile or
Uh-huh.
whatever. But I remember one year, it was December, and I found where my parents had stashed all my toys
Yeah, these things
Ah.
happen also. Yeah.
and things that I was going to get. They were hidden in their wardrobe. So I managed to find them there and see what I was getting.
Ah.
And I remember one of the things was that Ghost Castle game.
Oh,
Ah, yeah.
I remember seeing it.
Excellent. Yes.
Is it the box that's standing on top of your background there? I see a ghost castle just in the right top corner. Yeah,
Yep.
there.
There it is
Nice.
at the top.
Fantastic. And there's a real Ghostbusters version of that where it's the
Yeah.
same, essentially the same game, but
Yeah.
it's all printed with real Ghostbusters stuff.
I never
I'd
knew
love
that
that.
existed. I think it was
Yeah, I
one
put
of
that
the
in my
both-
video when I made my video of Ghost
Oh yeah,
Castle.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd like to have the Ghostbusters one. That'd be cool.
The game is perfect with Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I have to call up this one from Tree Theodore. He says, please share, subscribe, and like to all things 80. Thank you, Tree. That is very generous of you. I really do appreciate that. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. And Ben then said,
Tree wants video number 1, Dean.
Yeah. You have to play
Number-
video number 1.
wait,
Okay.
hang on. I need some glasses here because hang on. Okay. Let me just confirm this. Hang on. Yeah, number 1. Yeah, you're right. I
Yep.
cannot see that. I am okay.
I'll remind you
50
next time to put your glasses on.
Yeah, I should bring them down. Here's the thing, though. My whole life, I have had wonderful eyesight. It's only been these past few years that things have got a little bit blurry. And I bought off the shelf reading glasses. My God, do those things help?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think, is it fair to say I'm not blind, but I just need a little bit of assistance?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So number 1, Tree asks for, so number 1 he shall have. Number 1,
Rope
okay.
for the wind.
I'm
Number-
telling you, vintage toys suck. Hasbro for the win.
Now, hang on, wait a minute. Is that really me? I don't know.
The first time I saw that character, I didn't realise it was you.
Yeah,
That's like Superman wearing the glasses and you don't recognize it.
yeah. So thank you so much, Tree. It's very much appreciated. And Jason, hang on. Jason then says, a nice one, Tree Theodore, and definitely like and subscribe. Oh, thank you, Jason. And again, no, well, I do apologize. Last one was Ben. I do need glasses. And last one was Ben. This one is Jason saying, as I watch you building my new Lego Star Wars vehicle, Jedi Bob Starfighter. So I guess Jason is building Lego right now. And Damien says, Ghost Castle was and still is an awesome game.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually,
Absolutely.
Dean, do you use sometimes? Do you zoom sometimes onto your screen? I mean, like in your on your computer.
no,
I don't know.
I
Are you
do-
using a Mac? Are you using a Mac at the moment?
yes, it's a MacBook, but I don't know how to zoom.
What I do if I press I think it's a control button, and I roll the mice, I zoom the screen. It can help.
So let me try. So if I do what? Control?
Control. Wait, let me see. Control and roll the mouse, and then you just zoom onto your screen.
It's not working. Actually, if the truth be told, if I just wore glasses, I could probably read everything quite clearly.
Okay.
Now, obviously, can I make a big announcement right here?
Sure.
Probably means nothing to most of you, but today I got some really quite sad news. And that was that last night, which, hang on, today is 8 or 9. Well, for me, it's 9, but yesterday, Nico McBrain played his last ever Iron Maiden show.
I read
Oh,
that.
really?
He had a seizure.
Yeah,
Oh,
he had a stroke, I guess, a year or two back. And it was quite obvious in his performance for the last number of shows. It took his effect. And Maiden finished their tour for this year, and that was his last ever. And the funny thing is, though, when Paul Di'Anno died, I was upset, but Nico McBrain retiring really hurt me quite badly.
oh.
Nico McBrain was no longer part of Iron Maiden, maybe. Jano was only in the beginning, I think. He was here. Nothing against that. But Nico
McBrain once clapped me on the shoulder, and he nearly smashed me to bits.
Yeah.
being friendly or
Yeah.
But for me, it's the realization that everything I enjoyed as a child is finally coming to an end. You know?
Yeah. I'm not a few months.
Oh, so have Maiden announced what they're going to do going forward? I suppose it's early days.
Yes. And I just saw the news before coming on here that they're going to use Steve Addis's drummer for his solo band to come into Maiden.
Okay.
But to me, that doesn't quite fly. I don't want to see some nobody play drums for Iron Maiden.
Is it right? If it does it well, why not? But you want to see a superstar drummer. Who would you propose?
Well, I mean, in terms of unemployed drummers, and you know what? I don't even like Dream Theater, but I would propose Mike Portnoy to play drums for Iron Maiden on the last tour.
Good shout. It's a good shout.
Yeah.
I've seen him a few years
So
ago.
will the next tour be their last one then?
I would suspect so. They're doing it as a 50th anniversary, but I think this might be it. It's quite, and actually, the whole thing about this was when I woke up this morning, because I woke up obviously in the future, if you will, and saw the announcement, and I thought, oh my God, Maiden as I know it is kind of finished now.
Yeah.
And that's the reality, because we are of an age where everything we enjoyed as children or as teenagers is really coming to an end.
Yeah.
But it's being replaced. There's new stuff coming in. So teenagers now,
indeed,
they have their own things. Yeah.
And I see things continuing also. Newer generations inspire on. It's not. I see also my memories things of the past fading, but there is hope, I think. But no, it's a different world.
Maybe it's better that they do stop, because you do see bands that just look at Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
So they've carried on and stuff, and Axl Rose just does not have his voice anymore. So it's better that they should have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
I said
instead of
that. I said that about
carrying
Star
on.
Wars. Also in the beginning of that's maybe it's better to stop the whole thing and start something new. There is inspiration enough. You shouldn't keep on contributing to something that's is a bit worn off.
Yeah.
But
No.
it was just one of those reminders that everything I enjoyed as a kid is indeed coming to an end. And on that note, this live stream is coming to an end, but it's not the end, because there will be 2 more prior to Christmas. And everyone that appeared here is indeed welcome to join again, because I will have different topics, different foods, and different TV listings to look at. But I want to say to everyone who joined in on this live stream, thank you for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure to see you here. To the guests, thank you so much for coming on this
Thanks
humble
for having us, man.
little
Thanks
stream.
for having us at your Christmas
And
stream.
thank you, Sai. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Monkey Boy. You made this thing happen. And we will do this again next week. Before I go, I will just tune into the chat, because I see some comments about Iron Maiden, so we're going to bring these up. Ryan says, "Up the Irons, long live Nico." Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So Nico's Brain is indeed 72 years old.
Wow.
72, had a stroke last year and still did another tour. That guy is an absolute beast.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damien says, "Sad to hear about Nico's is finished. Do they have anyone in line?" Yes, they have someone. A complete nobody, as far as I'm concerned. I was just thinking the same thing, Dean. The Dream Theater drummer is good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Damien says, "I reckon the next Maiden tour will be it." Yeah, I think so as well. Let's be honest, they are not getting any younger. By the way, is Bruce still working in his full-time job? No, well, obviously, given the hair, he is no longer a pilot. Impossible Pie says AC/DC is going on tour next year, hoping they sound good. Now, is Brian Johnson still singing for them? I have no idea, because I thought he had hearing issues.
Yeah, I think he came back. He was gone for a bit.
Yeah. And Jason says, "Enjoy the live stream and great to see my friends on TV." Oh, thank you, Jason.
Thanks, man.
Good to see you in the chat. Ben says, "Great stream, all things 80s, Monkey Boy, toys, Retro Trucker, Sai and Seth, and everyone in the chat. See you next week." Well, thank you, Ben. And Tree closes us out with saying, Seth, Sai, Dave, Dean, and Ben, thank you for the special live. Well, thank you, Tree. So everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for watching this. This was the first Christmas party of 2024. We'll do all again next week, and hopefully we'll see some more of these familiar faces. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from these guys in the chat. So we will see you next week. Well, thank you all, and thank you to the guests. Okay.
Thanks, Dean.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to see you guys.
everyone.